Hey, what's up guys? In this tutorial, I'm going to take you step by step into using Adobe After Effects to make a basic, high quality PvP video. I'm getting a lot of requests to do something basic. So in this video, if you're just getting started using After Effects, this video is definitely for you because I'm going to take you step by step through getting your PvP videos in Adobe After Effects and applying some basic effects. But if you already know how to use After Effects, this video might give you some ideas of some techniques you can use to increase the quality of your YouTube videos. So let's get started. First of all, when I record my videos, I use Fraps. And Fraps is not the only program you can use to record videos. There's other ones out there that are really good, but Fraps is really high quality and it never lets me down. So for this example, I'm going to use 30 FPS. 30 FPS is great in most cases. If you want to do some slow motion effects, 60 FPS works a little bit better. But here we're just going to do 30. So now I'm in After Effects. After I fraps all my footage, I open up After Effects. I'm going to drag my video footage into After Effects. And in this example, I did some 2v2 with Kolozy, and I think we went like 13-1 or something like that. So I select the videos and I just drag them into the After Effects window right here. You can see they appear in the project window. The next thing I'm going to do is go up to the composition window and select new composition. This is going to set up the video. We're going to set up all the dimensions of the video right here. So if you go to the preset, scroll down and select HDTV 1080 29.97. Click OK. So now this is the composition. It's called Comp 1, and I'm going to start dragging my footage into the Comp 1 timeline. The first video I'm going to drag in is this video. So here it is. Kolozy and I go into the arena. So what I can do is I can use the mouse wheel to zoom in and zoom out. And what I notice when looking at this clip is there's black bars at the top and bottom. I want to try to fix this. So the first thing I'm going to do is right click on the window and go to transform and select fit to comp. And fit to comp resizes it to fit the window. But the problem is the aspect is a little bit funny. My Pally looks kind of skinny, but since I recorded it like this, I'm going to have to resize it. So I can actually resize this to make it look a little better by dragging these little points at the edge of the window. So if I drag this one, just expand it out a little bit so the aspect matches a little better. I think it's going to be okay for this example. So I just resized the window like that. Let's get to the gameplay. I want to find something epic in this video to edit. Let's go right here to where Kolozy kills this first hunter. So here, there's a hunter focusing me and he webs me. He's actually doing some pretty good DPS to me. So I go behind the pillar LOS and I start healing myself. And as I'm healing myself, Kolozy deep freezes that hunter and finishes off the other hunter. That's a pretty cool spot. So I want to put that into the edit. So if I go down here to the zoom in tool, I'm going to zoom into this clip. I can zoom out and zoom in here. You can see this is the spot that I want it to start. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to drag this over. And if I hold down the shift button, it'll snap right to that timeline. Alright, I'm going to drag this over to the beginning of the clip. So this is basically where the clip starts. I'm coming out of that web, healing myself up, and Kolozy's cleaning house. That's awesome. And now at the end of the clip, I want to end it right here. So I can drag this over and shorten the clip like that. From beginning to end, it's only 20 seconds, it's a short clip, but that's what we're going to do for this example. We're just going to put a couple of short clips in here. So the next clip I want to put in is this one here, so I just drag it down to the timeline, and the new clip appears. We're going up against Mage Druid, and I'm going to do the same thing here. Let me resize the window. First I'll go to transform, fit to comp, and I have the same problem here, so I want to widen it a little bit. No big deal on the aspect. Okay, the mages open up with their bombs. All hell's broken loose. Kolozy just starts wailing on the druid like, what's up? So I'm just going to fast forward to a cool spot right here where my Pally has wings up and he jumps. This is a cool spot. I'm going to cut it right here. So one way to shorten this clip is to drag it from the left side and drag it over. But there's another method I can do where I just split the layer. Alright, that's what I'm going to do here. So select the layer you want to split, go to edit, and select split layer. And it splits the layer into two. So this beginning clip, I'm actually just going to delete. So I press delete, I drag this clip over. I'm going to end it right here. Alright, this is cool. Just to do it one more time so you can see, I'm going to drag a third clip in. So I drag the third clip down to the timeline. I'm going to resize this. I can resize this manually by clicking on the edge right there. And just to kind of resize it, make the aspect fit a little bit better. That's about the same as the other one, right? Here, Kolozy just opens up on that warrior and just blows him up. So let's see if I can find a cool spot to cut out here. Alright, this is a cool spot right here. And the warrior gets on Kolozy, so I bop Kolozy. We're just going toe to toe in the middle. And I don't think you want to go toe to toe with Kolozy. Not a good idea. Looks like the Paladin trinkets. Warrior's dead. Okay, so the next step. The transitions are kind of harsh. There's no fade in between the transition. So let's add some quick transitions. And we're going to add transitions by using transparency. And it looks like right at the end, my Paladin jumps up, then jumps down. I bet I can sync those two together. Let me sync where he jumps up, about right there and about right here. Pull down this menu right here and pull down the transform menu, and you see opacity. We're going to work with opacity here. If I click this little button that looks like a stopwatch, that puts down a keyframe. Alright, and right now the opacity is at 100%. So I want it to fade in right here. And over here, if I move the bar to the left, I can drag the 100 down to 0. So it goes from 0 opacity to 100. I'm going to tighten this up a little bit. I'm going to move the opacity a little bit closer to each other. Okay, so now let's do the same thing with this other clip here. I'm going to drag it over a little bit so that they overlap. Alright, and then I'm going to pull down this menu, pull down the transform, click that little keyframe button, puts down a keyframe at 100%. Let me move over, drag 100 down to 0, so it goes from 0 to 100. After the warrior died, this part lasted kind of long, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to split this layer. Alright, so I just shortened the clips and then I overlap them because I want it to fade in. So I bring down this menu, bring down the transform. To add another keyframe, I can click this button right there. That adds a keyframe. And it's already set to 100. And then if I drag this down, and here, just like I made it fade in, I can make it fade back out to 0. So click that little button again, 100, drag this over, drag that to 0. So now it goes from 100 to 0, and 0 will be black. So we went kind of fast there, but just take a deep breath, let me zoom out. I'm pretty happy with it. Let's add some effects. So what I'm going to do is, I can add effects to each one of these layers. There's 4 layers. Or I can add effects to all of them at the same time using an adjustment layer. That's what I'm going to do. Go up to Layer, select New, Adjustment Layer. Here's the adjustment layer. I'm going to drag this adjustment layer so that it spreads out over all of the videos. Just like that. Now, any effect that I add to the adjustment layer is going to affect all of the layers below it. So I select the adjustment layer, go up to Effect. The first effect is going to be Unsharp Mask. So go to Blur and Sharpen and select Unsharp Mask. It's going to add sharpness and clarity to the video. I'll show you how it works. So the amount that I add is 100 and the radius is 1. I'll show you exactly what this does. This is awesome. Now I'm going to zoom in using the mouse wheel to 100%. And if I use this hand tool right here, I can move the screen around. Now watch what happens when I toggle on and off the unsharp mask. Now it's off, now it's on. Now let me move it to, and again, on and off. It lets you see the words much better, even the text. The next effect is going to be color correction and curves. Bump up the curves a little bit to make it a little bit brighter. A little bit goes a long way. And another thing you can do is you can make an S-curve. So if you drag that point right there, you can click on another point. About right there. You can see that it makes a pretty big difference. So there's one other effect I'm going to add. Not everybody has this. If you don't have Mojo, don't worry about it. But check out what Mojo does. If I add Magic Bullet Mojo, it kind of makes it like a war scene or something. It adds this really cool color effect. But if you don't have this, you can use other effects. But here I'm going to blend it with the original, so it's not too intense. Mojo actually makes it look a little bit cooler. So let's add some music. So I kind of have a song in mind that I want to use for this. So I downloaded this Arion music pack. It's a free download. Go check out Arion, he's pretty cool. This is a trap remix, and I'm just going to use this for this example. So I'm going to drag the music file down into the timeline, and the MP3 is here. Now I want to try to match the music to the video. It's really hard to do that a lot of times, so I'll show you a real easy way to match the music to the video. Pull down this little tab right here, pull down the audio tab, and pull down waveform. Waveform lets you see the waveform. Let's do a quick listen to the audio. Alright, so this is the song. And what I want to do, what you can do is you can match the peaks of the music to certain parts of the video. Let's try that and see what it looks like. So right here, when Kolozy owns that hunter, I want to do kind of a cool music effect right there. Right when he owns that hunter. So I can drag the peak of this music file, which is about right here, drag it to where the timeline is right when the hunter dies, like right there. So you see where that peak kind of matches this spot, and I'll zoom in so we can see it better. And I don't know if it's going to work or not. We'll just replay it back and see what it's like. To preview the music, you can press the period button on your number pad. That previews the music. If you want to preview the music with the video, you press 0 on the number pad. You can also press this play button over here in the preview window. When you press 0, it has to render a little bit. Just let it render and you can see that little green bar right there. And to mute all of the other clips, I just press these little buttons that look like a speaker. If I toggle them off, that's going to mute those clips from the preview. So let's preview it and see if it works out. That's looking pretty cool. Alright, I'm going to go with that for this example. And basically what I did was I just pressed 0 to preview it, and then I pressed 0 again to play it. You can try to match the video to the music or match the music to the video. It makes a huge difference in the video. So we're almost done. The next thing I need to do is add a pre-roll and a post-roll. So I'm going to use one of my recent giveaway intros. If you like this intro, I can make one of these for you. Just give me a private message. Alright, so I imported my intro, and just like I did with the other clips, drag it into the timeline. I need to move all of these other layers to the right. But we have to be really careful here, because I don't want there to be a mismatch between the music and the video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all the layers except for the intro, and just drag them over to the right. It's as easy as that. Just drag them over to the right. I don't want to play the whole intro. I just want to play the part before the explosion. I split it. I'm going to delete this last part. So it's basically just the first 8 seconds of an intro. 8 seconds is a long time. So that's why I want to shorten it. And I want to fade it out. So I pull down this menu. That's at 100, starts off at 100%. And I want to fade to black here. So I drag the 100 down to 0. Now let's bring the other footage back over. So there's a lot of layers here, don't get confused. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select everything except for the intro, just like I did before, and drag it over. And I'll press Shift on my keyboard to make it snap. Alright, let me zoom in, make sure this is a clean transition. Alright, cool. So I'm just going to mute this channel. So all the other layers are muted by clicking this little speaker button, and the only audio track that's enabled is this trap remix. Let me look at the waveform again. I want to fade the music in. You can do that if you want to fade music. You do the same thing with keyframes. Here, select the audio levels keyframe. I'm just going to drag it over a little bit here, and then slide this over to the left so it's negative dB, and that's going to go from silent to full sound. Here's a preview of what it sounds like. If I press the period on the number pad, it'll preview the audio. Cool, and if I press 0 on the number pad, it'll preview the video with the audio. Alright, I like it. So let's go with that. The last thing I have to do is put the post roll in, and then we're done. I'm going to file, import, and I'm going to find this post roll that I have. If you don't already have one, I'll show you how to make it. So I'm going to drag this post roll into the timeline about right here. I can actually just drag it over here into the timeline and it'll appear right where I dragged it. Alright, so this is actually its own composition. If I double click on it, I can edit this composition. I'm going to stay simple here. You can add videos to your post roll. I'm actually going to delete all those just in the spirit of keeping this simple. So here I just have some text. I definitely want to give a shout out to Arion's Trap Remix. So I'm going to copy the name of this song and I'm going to paste it here into the music. And you can actually drag these. These are just text layers. You can drag them around. If you want to make a new text layer, you can use the text tool at the very top. Alright, so I've got my post roll here. I'm going to drag these text layers over to the right to make them longer. If I press U on my keyboard, I can see the keyframes. I'm going to drag these over. Those are the fade out keyframes. So I want them to fade out at the end, so I just drag them over. I went kind of fast there, but no big deal. Because you can see the point here is that right at the very end, the clip fades out and then the post roll just appears. I can actually shorten these a little bit and bring the post roll right there. So it fades out and then bam, the post roll appears. That's how I want it. Okay, so are you ready to render this? Let's get this rendered. I'm going to show you the best render settings right now. So, but first what we got to do is we got to take a look at this time ruler right here. We got to shorten the time ruler. So zoom all the way out and grab the end of this time ruler and drag it to the end of your clip. Just like that. Last thing I'm going to do is fade out the music so it just kind of fades to silent. That'd be a cool part to fade out, like right there. We drag this over a little bit, select the audio layer, and I'm going to add a keyframe by clicking that. And then drag this over, place down another keyframe. Just by dragging this to -dB, it automatically puts another keyframe right there. So it should just fade out. Let's go ahead and render this. Composition, add to render queue. So click on the best settings, text. It's this gold text, and quality is best, resolution is full. Make sure the frame rate says 30, and it says 30 because we set that up initially in the composition settings. So if yours doesn't say that, you might have to go back to the composition settings and fix that. Alright, now click on this gold text here under Output Module. Here, the format is H264. Click on this Format Options box and use these settings: Profile Main, Level 5.1. Here I'm going to use CBR. CBR 20. If you guys want to know the best compression that I have found, watch my compression tutorial. There, I do a more complex compression method that gives the best quality that I've found to date. This one is just going to be more simple so we can get things going, and you can use this method if you need to upload a quick video to YouTube. Now go to the Audio tab, and here I select 256. I want the quality to be high. Click OK. Don't forget to click the Audio Output button, or else your video will render with no audio. In the Output to, click that gold text and select where you want to output this video to. Click Comp 1. Here I'm just going to call it draft.mp4. Click Save. And click the render button, and here it goes. Alright guys, that's it for this tutorial. I hope I was able to give you some ideas about some small things you could do to increase the quality of your video. If you want to see some more advanced rendering, check out my compression tutorial. It will change your life. For reals. If you enjoyed this video, or you found it helpful, give this video a like, and please subscribe to the channel if you want to support the channel. Thanks guys, good luck, and have fun.